scorecard saying, so far, we have done well. And she went on to reel out some indices. But then you had the former president saying, look, some of these figures, bottom line is the well-being of average Nigerians. Well, do you think both of them have a point here? But the thing is, the government says we've done well. They've done well, haven't they?
Oh, well, what's clear is that the Nigerian economy has improved over the last couple of years. That's a fact. The minister was saying external reserves, have improved, from 30-something billion to 50 billion. That's evident. Exchange rate has become more stable. You can also point to the stock market. But where you may not have agreement is how much of this improvement is attributable to changing global climate, an improvement in the global cyclical situation, permitting Nigeria's reserves to grow.
So not that is a result, direct result of a deliberate policy here.
You cannot claim, so that's the issue. You have to, when you say there is economic improvement, you should isolate what you can attribute to global cyclical changes and what you can attribute to anybody's effort. So it is a fact that the economy has improved. But that improvement challenges the government to now seize the opportunity of the improved economic climate to achieve improved, economic growth, improved welfare, and the rest of that.
Okay, well, they also talked about the inflation rate coming down from 12.4% in 2011 to a single digit of 9% today, and they cite that as a fact. But earlier on, we had Dr. Owens who talked about the interest rate, that they also should focus on some of these. It's still at a double-digit figure and not at a single-digit figure, and that is very essential to development.
Well, right. The key issue is that going forward, the Nigerian economic situation may even get better. If you look at the surge in the stock market over the last 1 year,
okay,
if that persists, interest rates should soon go down significantly. I mean, if you've seen market capitalization rise from about 8 trillion about a year ago to it's getting close to 12 trillion now. It's 11.5 trillion or thereabouts. That's improved liquidity. The 3.5 trillion addition in a year. If that trend continues, you will see rates, drop significantly. And I think that Nigerians should focus more on what we would like to see in the second half term of the regime, given there is opportunity. When the regime started out, the global climate was harsh, and much of the gains we are listing today, have arisen out of the fact that the global climate has improved. So you couldn't ask much of the government in a harsh global economic environment. Now you should, because that environment is no longer harsh. There are opportunities for Nigeria. Mrs. Okonjo-Iweala was minister in General Obasanjo's second term. She superintended over the building up of reserves up to about $60 billion US, and she is superintending over the build up of reserves to 50 billion now. Soon you may see 60 billion. You may surpass even the reserves they built up. The key question is, what difference are they going to use those reserves to make? We lament the fact that the reserves built up under General Obasanjo at the time was eventually depleted without anything to show for it. And what's going to become of the reserves that we are building up now? So the global environment gives Nigeria opportunity to transform its economy. Reserves themselves are not going to translate to economic transformation. You have to think of projects that are going to make a difference to the economy. It's not just saying infrastructure. Rail, for example, rail can catalyze growth, if we, determine, to make a difference. So there is another window of opportunity, for Nigeria, and the Nigerian government should be encouraged, to seize as much of that opportunity.
I think that's almost exactly what this United States civil rights activist Justin Jackson said yesterday. He says leadership is not about winning elections, but it's more importantly about transforming people. And you say, well, all of this development should amount to transforming the people. The rail system you talked about, which were also highlighted with our first guest here, and agriculture, how can we harness both and ultimately reflect in the lives of those who actually are farmers?
Oh, well, farmers are one of the biggest beneficiaries of the current global climate, given favorable world prices for agricultural output. So I'm not sure that when you worry about whose life to improve, I'm not sure that they, are the people you should be worried about. They're making some of the most gains
at
the moment, yes. If you, have access to farm, you should engage. Because global commodity prices, global crop prices have risen far above the peak they attained before the crisis, before the global economic contraction. And anybody involved in the farm sector now, you can check with them, must be reaping, fortunes, whether you are producing or you are trading. So we should, and the role of policy is to focus not on the strongest links. Well, it's the key issue is that the issue for the agri sector is how government can tax some of the improved incomes in that sector, not how government can go and support people who are already making, huge windfalls from price improvements. So, but the issue in policy is to worry about sectors that are excluded from the growth process.
Such as which ones?
Well, if that's crops, if you look at, these crops are doing very well, so you will be thinking of sectors that are not impacted by the favorable global commodity prices.
Like which sectors would that be?
Oh, well, you can categorize, there are about 33 sectors in the economy, and crops, then commerce, is favorably affected, by the global upturn. You have to look for players in the sectors that are not